Hey there friends, Sharon Thomas here with another Merry and Bright video for you today, and this one titled, Jesus Loved First. See, these videos this Christmas are all about the reasons my life is merry and bright because Jesus is the light of my world. And knowing that Jesus loved first is something that really gets in deep to the merry and bright for me. So let me describe it this way. Have you ever been in a relationship with somebody and you've had an argument, you've had a misunderstanding, and you've kind of gone your separate ways? Now that could be you and your spouse, and one of you has retreated to the living room, one of you has gone into the kitchen, and you're just not really on speaking terms. Or that could be a much longer standing, misunderstanding between friends, between family members, and you even haven't talked in a very long time. Well, the dynamic that needs to take place for that relationship to find a place of peace is for somebody to make the first move. And the reality of Scripture teaches us that once sin entered the world, and we know that happened through Adam and Eve, we all, born from them, come into this world in a place of depravity, at a place of enmity with God, where there has been a break of relationship with God. And so we all are in that place. And so somebody has to make the first move. Somebody has to love first and put that love of relationship into action. And in our relationship with God, absolutely, unequivocally, it was that Jesus loved first. That's what Christmas is all about, that he came, right? He made the first move. He came. He became Emmanuel. He became like us. He came into our space and found us. He made that first move. See, it is the nature of our God to love first. I love the scripture in Romans 5:8 where it says, while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. While we were still in that place of sin, he came after us. He loved first. And it just feels so good to know that he pursued us. We stayed in our sin. He came running to find us. And not only does Scripture tell us that he did that initially for us in making peace, in bringing us to a place of reconciliation, our relationship with him, but it lets us know that that is the character and nature of our God in an ongoing basis. Psalm 139 is all about how the Lord knows us and sees us and is intimately acquainted with our ways. But it talks about if we try to get away from God, like maybe even after we're saved, we get angry with God about something, or we have a hard time understanding and we begin to distance ourselves. Psalm 139 tells us that it doesn't matter where we go, the Lord will come after us. David, who wrote this psalm, asked this question in verse 7. He says, where can I go from your spirit? In other words, where can I go and get away from you, like that you won't come after me? And he goes on to describe situation after situation where God's going to be there. He's going to show up. He's going to be that one that comes running after us. I love how he even says in verse 11, he says, if I say, surely the darkness will hide me and the light become night around me. He goes on to answer it by saying, even the darkness is not dark to you. The night will shine like the day, for darkness is as light to you. He's saying that, God, you're always going to show up. You're always going to show up. You're so filled with light. You're so filled with merry and bright that you're not going to allow that darkness to engulf me. You'll come and find me. You'll come after me. You'll be that one who makes the first move. And I think most of us, when we have these disagreements with people, no matter what kind they are, we want the relationship to be strong enough that that person would care enough about us that they would come after us, that they would come running and try to make that relationship right. Now, we should also be that person. People get it wrong, though. There's many times where no one comes running after the other, where no one comes and humbles themselves to make the relationship right. But one of the things that we can know about our God that brings about such a sense of merry and bright is that not only did he do it once in salvation, but he does it again and again. There's an old hymn that has a line in it that describes us as prone to wander. And we're prone to wander away from God, to create breaks in the relationship. But there's a newer worship song out that kind of plays off of that line, and it says, I'm prone to wonder, but you're prone to chase. And that's just it. Jesus is. He's prone to chase after us. He's not only the one that loved first in salvation, but he's the one that continues to do that. And you know what? There's just something so rich about being in a relationship where you know that you know that you know he's always going to come after me. Even if I bolt, even if I run away, he's coming after me. He loves me that much. And in salvation with Jesus, that covenant relationship has been put in a place where we can trust that. And that makes my life so merry and bright. And not just for me, but here's the thing that it also does, just increasing that merry and bright, is that when we live in relationship with Jesus like that, when we've been loved that way again and again and again, where he's the one that loves first, it tends to set us on the same course in relationships with others. We're told over and over in Scripture to follow the example of Christ, to live in his ways, to relate to one another out of the fullness of what he's done for us. And so, you can't live in that kind of relationship with Jesus, but for so long, where you experience him coming after you, then you begin to become that person in your relationships with others. And that just spreads the merry and bright. See, there's great joy and there's great satisfaction and goodness from God in being a peacemaker. Jesus talks about that too in the Sermon on the Mount, where he says, blessed are the peacemakers. So Jesus loved first. There's so much merry and bright that comes from that. And I pray you know that. And if you don't know Jesus, I pray that you come to know that he is running after you. He's running after you. The very reason he came and was born in a manger was because he loved first. He wants to make relationship with you right. And your very best response could be, yes, Jesus, I want that too. If you need more information about that salvation, about making your life right with Christ, reach out to us. We'd love to help you in that. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, I encourage you to do that. I will be sharing more Merry and Bright videos this month, as well as other things that are coming up soon in our ministry, Established Footsteps. So we don't want you to miss out. So make sure you subscribe. If you've enjoyed this video, like it, share it. It helps us to share the content from this channel as you do that. We'll be in touch again soon. See ya.